About to head out to get my car done. Today is the day. The big detail is going to happen. We're going to see if the car can be saved. I got to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about it.
Hey, good morning.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
There it is.
All right. I'm glad you cleaned it for me before you brought it. No, we're gonna go through a fairly complex decon process with this, I guess. So all these bugs and tar and all this dust, I want to get the contaminants completely off the paint before we start the paint correction end of things. So after the decon and wash process, we'll pull it inside, we'll dry it up real nice, we'll do all the paint correction and then the coating. So that whole process is probably going to take, from start to finish, from right now until a complete product, I would say 10 to 12 hours total of working time. And then after that, we're going to have to keep the car for another 12 hours inside for that initial cure time. After that, you can take it home, park it in the garage. It's going to take 30 full days to cure, to become fully scratch resistant, chemical resistant, and permanent. So.
And you guys are going to see the whole process in just a few moments. So you won't have to sit on the video for 10 hours to see it. But I know it's kind of a mess.
My goal is to bring out every good quality out of this paint by removing all this stuff, polishing it up real nice, and then having that coating sort of be the magnifier to all that work.
I can't tell you how excited I am. Now, having the tinted windows is not a problem. You guys work with that stuff?
Yeah, we actually do window tint as well, so I'll let it slide that you got it tinted already.
It was the only reason why it's done is because I bought the car with it already on there.
Okay. The coating is going to go on obviously all the painted surfaces, your wheel faces, and I also have a glass coating, surprise, that I'm going to put all over the glass for you. So
awesome.
The side windows, the windshield, the rear window, I'll show you that process.
The scuffs that I magically noticed, are these going to actually come out, you think, or is there any chance these are going to...
Some of those are pretty deep. These finer, smaller guys, I think we could hide pretty well. I'll do my best. I mean, if possible, we can even do a little wet sanding and see how much of that we can make disappear. My mild concern, and I have paint depth gauges and all kinds of stuff to make sure that we don't do... I like to replace what I remove. Right. So think of it like icing on a cake. Paint correction is removing some of that clear coat. Wet sanding is removing a good amount of clear coat. So you're scraping all that icing off that cake, and if you don't replace it, you're left with this much instead of this much.
Kind of with the coating.
So OptiCoat comes into play because it bonds to your factory clear coat and makes it a little bit thicker, microscopic. It's 2 microns thicker, but it's still 100 times thicker than wax.
Well, the gauge would see it, so
yes, yep,
awesome.
And this process had been used fairly widely. I'm probably blowing up a couple guys' spots right now, but we're obviously only cleaning the top of it, right? We're not doing this full steam cleaning thing, which we could, but most people, when you open the hood, if you're selling the car, if you're doing your own work and opening caps, it's clean, it looks brand new from everything you can see up, everywhere we can reach. And I was always leery of power washing, but all these newer motors, as long as the air filter's sealed, there's no issues. There's no coil packs, there's no carburetors, nothing that,
There's older ones where the coil packs would just be a disaster.
Yeah. All that grime and all that dust and all that crap that's in the cracks of all this stuff, this is a way to kind of force it out before we wash, so that as we wash, we're not catching any of that stuff and dragging it onto the paint as we go. So at this point, all the bugs, the tar, the dust, the piece of gum we found on the door, the line paint, that's all been removed. We degreased it, we power washed it off. So at this point, what remains on the paint potentially could be iron particles, and this product will chemically dissolve those iron particles prior to us washing and clay barring it. So as clean as it looks, you have a dark colored car, it may be hard to see. If this were a white or silver car, something that red shows up on easily, it would look like this is bleeding as that iron dissolves. And then once we let it
rust.
Yes. So once we let, and that could be from brake dust, that could be from your car running rich. You could have some, blow by on the back of the car. People that live near railroads or train crossings, when they ship these cars new, also some of them are shipped by rail.
Yeah.
And at that point, hopefully the dealership does the same process. But I've had brand new cars off of the carrier, so to speak, come in that covered in iron.
I speculate the reason why the paint is actually so bad on this car is because of how the dealership handled it before they sold it to me.
One wash potentially at a new car dealership can put the same amount of micro marring and marring that's in your clear coat. So we always say, obviously this is a 2016, but if you ever decide to buy a new car, tell your salesperson, tell the dealership, don't touch it. Pull it off the truck, let your mechanics inspect it, do the PDI stuff, but don't wash it. I know this because I used to do this when I was 16, 17 in high school. I was a detailer.
That's where you cut your teeth
at a dealership,
washing
right?
the cars.
And I know what I did, and I assume the process hasn't changed too much. So, best bet, brand new from a dealership. Take it to a actual detailer that has his own business, just because the quality will be much better than a dealership detail for sure.
It already looks really nice. So I can't wait to see how far it goes. It's gonna be awesome. So we're gonna start to do the paint correction, or
Yeah.
Josh is gonna start to do the paint correction. What are the steps involved here?
So this is going to be probably a 4 or 5 step process. We're going to start with compounding. So we're going to cut in as deep as I feel necessary into your clear coat to remove what we're looking at currently. Once we cut in and we're kind of happy with the way the paint looks, then we'll change gears and we'll go to some polish, and then we'll polish out the haze and any of the what's called, micro marring from the compounding process, because there is wool in some of these pads. It'll cause these real fine marks, and the polish will bring that out, and then we will remove the polish and we'll go over the whole car with an alcohol-based paint prep before the coating. So 3 or 4 steps. We're going to be going over this car, wiping it probably 6 to 8 times. So it's a little bit of time that we're going to spend on this now.
Awesome, I can't wait. And we got a line right here, and he's gonna show us kind of a little bit of a before and after on this panel to get us started.
Tell you guys, I mean, you can see the scratches and the swirl marks here, and again, this is so hard to relay on camera, and I know it's night and day.
There's nothing.
You're just gonna have, there is nothing over there.
And the scuffs that were on the fender.
Yeah, the scuffs that Michael freaked out about.
I mean, like I said, we still have to polish a little bit. But
yeah, but they're virtually gone.
Yeah.
Amazing. Day one is over, and it was a long day for sure. The car is already looking pretty amazing. I can't believe what Josh was able to do. And if you want to see day two, where there's a lot more work to be done, you should definitely subscribe to the channel and click that bell so that you're notified when the video comes out. Now, if you want to see what this car looked like before we did anything, you should check this video out right here. My name is Michael Fire Jr., and of course, this is for the love of cars. And I'll see you in the next one.